What if I told you there is no right way to do triangle? I imagine you'd be pretty perplexed based on what you've heard from yoga teachers over the years. Should your feet be a certain distance apart? Should your back foot turn inwards 2 o'clock or outwards around 3 o'clock? Should you always start like you're in the military and raise your arms up with all your limbs really stiff? Should you do should you do the Iyengar style, which clearly I've never done before? For some reason I chose today's video to do it with my bad back. Or do you practice this my way, which is a more kind of biomechanically biased way of doing it, where you bend your knee, you come into side angle, and then you straighten your leg into the full triangle after a few breaths? The answer to all of that is, there really is no right or wrong, and I cannot emphasize enough just how important that is for yoga teachers to understand. A yoga teacher said to me recently that she teaches her triangle the way she did because it was traditional. And so the first question I asked her is that she has to tell me what she means by traditional. And her answer was, well, it's based on Indian tradition. And I said, well, it can't be, because there's no such thing as Indian tradition. India is defined really by the hundreds and thousands of traditions within. So when her teacher said it was traditional, she meant it was traditional based on her teacher's lineage and perhaps what part of India they were from. They have a certain tradition, and this is how she's teaching the pose now. The most educated thing a yoga teacher can do when studying and learning is to ask questions when teachers tell you about their preferred method. So again, what do I mean by that? If I'm telling you that I want you to do triangle my way, I need you then to, from an educational perspective, ask me what on earth I mean by that. I have to then go further and explain to you that this is how I teach the pose based on my understanding of alignment and biomechanics. And so then you go, okay, I get it now. So that's not how you do triangle, that's how you would do triangle if your bias and if your intention was to make it biomechanically sound. You then ask another teacher who says, no, this is how you do triangle because this is tradition. So rather than taking their word for it, you have to go a little deeper. You ask them to elaborate, what do they mean by that? What school of yoga? And then they will say, well, this is how we do it in the Ashtanga system. It's traditional Ashtanga style. And then you go, okay, so they don't mean this is traditional, they mean it's traditional based on the Ashtanga lineage. Then you ask someone else who says, this is how we do it. And you say, well, okay, what is that tradition based on? And they might say the Iyengar system. So you go, okay, I get this now. So person A teaches it biomechanically, person 2 teaches this based on the Ashtanga yoga, and person 3 teaches it based on the Iyengar system. No one is right or wrong, but each one of their variations can serve a different purpose. There is absolutely no right or wrong way to do any type of yoga pose, as long as the student, the practitioner, is not experiencing pain whilst they're in the pose. I started my book in the same way because I know exactly how people think. I quoted Friedrich Nietzsche when I said there are no facts, only interpretations. And that is the single most important thing any yoga teacher can ever remember when trying to navigate the really complex nature of physical yoga.